Welcome to the Explainer. Okay, so today we're looking at a pretty big claim. What if you could get a lubricant with extreme, industrial strength performance, but it was also completely non-toxic? We're gonna dig right into the science and some really surprising data behind that very idea.
You know the feeling, right? We've all been there. That moment of just pure frustration when a simple job turns into this massive struggle, all because some bolt is just completely seized up. Or how about that nagging sound coming from under the hood? Yeah, you know exactly the one I'm talking about. That little clatter or grind that's basically telling you, hey, something's not right in here. And don't even get me started on the constant, maddening squeak that just drives you up the wall. Look, these things aren't just little annoyances. They're symptoms. They're signs of a constant battle we're fighting against friction, rust, and just general wear and tear. Okay, so let's call it what it is. A never-ending battle against friction, rust, and seized up parts. So what if there was a new tool for this fight? A different kind of lubricant. And here it is, PlanetSafe-AIM. Now, the key thing to know about it is its biosynthetic formula. What does that mean? Well, it basically combines the high performance you get from synthetics with the safety you get from plant-based stuff. It's really designed to be a hero for, pretty much everything, from heavy-duty industrial jobs all the way down to simple fixes around the house. So the really crucial point here is that it's doing 4 key jobs all at once. First, it lubricates moving parts. Think chains, bearings, that kind of thing. Then it penetrates, getting way down into tiny microspaces to break free those rusted-on bolts. It also cleans away all the gunk and hardened grease. And finally, it leaves behind this protective barrier to stop rust and corrosion from even starting. And this just shows you how crazy versatile it is. I mean, we're talking about everything from freeing up a seized-up O2 sensor on your car to just quieting a squeaky door hinge, or lubricating your air tools, or even making the slides on your toolbox feel brand new. The list of things you can use this for is honestly huge. All right, now we get to the really unexpected part, the twist in the story, performance meeting safety. Because, we're always taught that high performance means high danger, but this stuff really challenges that whole idea. Think about it. We've kind of been trained to believe that the really powerful solutions, the stuff that actually cuts through rust and protects under extreme pressure, it has to be toxic or flammable or just plain nasty. But PlanetSafe basically asks the question, does it really have to be that way? And here's the proof, right here. This is the official NFPA 704 Fire Diamond. And look at these numbers. The blue one for health, that's a 0. Minimal hazard. The red one for flammability is a 1, which means you'd have to preheat it for it to even burn. And the yellow for instability, another 0. I mean, this is about as clear a visual confirmation of its safety as you can get. So what does minimal hazard actually mean for you in the real world? It means it's non-toxic. It's considered non-hazardous by OSHA. It doesn't have any of those nasty chemicals from California's Prop 65 list. This means you can use a seriously industrial strength product without having to worry about all the harsh side effects. Okay, so it's versatile and it's super safe. But the big question remains, what about performance? Let's put it to the ultimate test, the engine wear challenge. All right, so an independent lab ran a standard industry wear test. What they did was they took PlanetSafe's oil treatment, it's called OT, added it to just regular 10W30 oil, and then put it head-to-head against some of the biggest names in the business. First up to the plate, the super popular, widely available Lucas Oil Additive. So how did it do? Well, according to the lab report, it started out strong, but after about 40 minutes, its effectiveness just dropped off. The friction started to creep back up, and in an engine, that means more heat, and you guessed it, more wear. So the final result for Lucas was a wear scar of 0.48 millimeters. Keep that number in your head. Next up, they tested Justice Brothers. This is a professional-grade treatment, the kind you find in auto shops. So you'd expect a really strong performance here, right? Okay, this result is genuinely surprising. The lab test showed a wear scar of 0.47 millimeters, which was the exact same amount of wear as the regular oil with, get this, no additive at all. In this test, it offered 0 measurable improvement. All right, now for the main event. How does this simple additive, just mixed into regular conventional oil, stack up against a premium full synthetic oil like Mobil 1? So the results for the premium Mobil 1 full synthetic was a wear scar of 0.40 millimeters. Definitely better for sure, but still not the best score in this test. And here it is, the final result. PlanetSafe-OT came in with the smallest wear scar of all, just 0.36 millimeters. To put that in perspective, that's 11% better protection than a full synthetic oil and a massive 33% better than Lucas, at least in this specific test. But, it's not just about lab data. The source material also had sound intensity measurements from a bunch of different vehicles before and after they used the PlanetSafe-OT. And in every single case, the engine ran noticeably quieter. That's something you can actually hear, and it points directly to less friction and smoother operation. So after all that, what's the big takeaway? What should we get from all this data? Well, it really comes down to a smarter way to protect our machines. It's this idea of smarter, not harsher. It really means you don't have to make that choice between high performance and your own safety. This tech shows that it's actually possible to get top-tier protection for your most valuable stuff without having to use a bunch of hazardous chemicals. And really, that's the thought I want to leave you with. This whole thing just challenges that old way of thinking. It suggests that, with better science, we can create solutions that are not just more effective, but also safer for us and for the environment. And that is a really compelling idea.